So I understand that you used to build social housing?
Yeah, I was with a company that actually developed and constructed sheltered housing. And I'm sat here today because 7 years ago an accident happened within half a mile from my own house when a deer came out and went straight across the windscreen. I lost control of the vehicle, ended up in a tree stump. So I was airlifted by helicopters to Stanmore in Middlesex to the Royal National Orthopaedic Hospital. I spent 6 months. On leaving Stanmore, I had a further 8 months in a care home, where again I was determined at that point to get some form of life back. And having had such a large life in connected with building and construction, it was just really a follow-on. The fact is I lived in the social housing sector. That's a house owned by a housing association. I'd like to have got involved very much with the disabled side of people living in disabled housing, and that's what I've done. So I spend a lot of time now talking to disabled groups within those areas and advising them on various conversions and aspects that they're entitled to. I go in and design houses that are useful and can be easily converted for disabled use. Wheelchair spilling space in the kitchen and the various things we look at in the plans. And that's given me even more enthusiasm now to identify on developments of estates and blocks of flats, access routes, drop curbs, and all the various things we're looking for on the outside of properties to also be put on the inside as well.
So when you were building the flats,
Right.
did you have any preconceived ideas of what disabled people needed?
No, we never gave it a thought.
So
We were looking for housing, ordinary, single person or couples, never gave a thought for design for disability at that point at all.
So housing associations have gone into the field of rehousing disabled people now. How do you think they're doing?
I think they're realising now that there's a huge market for extra care. So an extra care section of a large development, say a flats, might have probably 100 flats available, but an extra care unit is now being provided within those block of flats. They might take 8 or a dozen rooms, strip them out, and fit them out for disabled usage.
What always surprises me is that when a disabled person dies, say in an extra care home,
Right.
all the adaptations that are put in are ripped out and they start again, rather than actually look to see if they can find another person with a similar disability.
I've just applied, if possible, to be moved into a ground floor flat. In other words, a 2-bedroom ground floor flat. The assessor came and looked at me, and the first thing I said is, "Oh, this will have to be converted back again." I said, "No." I said, part of the grant funding that we had initially to have the house converted, it's in there on black and white that this house has now to remain a house for disabled use or disabled family. So, things are progressing. I thought that was a big point.